week in, week out, to be honest. He's just better. And I don't like to say that type of thing very often. What is even going on? It's like a horseshoe. Real disaster for Spurs at the minute. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. I'm Tom, and today it is time, as always on a Friday, for the match preview for Liverpool's Premier League game against Spurs. Back in action in the Prem. A big game, a must-win game for Liverpool, it really is. Not just because I will have head loss on the ratings if we don't win. Let's get into the preview and discuss everything you need to know about both Liverpool and Spurs ahead of the game on the weekend. Alright, so like always on the preview, we will start with my predicted lineup for Liverpool, and we will probably talk more about Spurs in this preview in general than Liverpool. There's been so many games for us recently, so I've talked a lot about Liverpool and my thoughts on them. Not much is changing at the minute, so lots to talk about with Spurs, but let's start with the predicted lineup. Like I said, so I've got Mamardashvili in the goal. We'll talk about Alisson in a second. At right back, I've got Frimpong with Konate and Van Dijk centre-backs, Kirk left back. The midfield, I've gone Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and Florian Wirtz as number 10. And then the front three, I've gone Salah, Ekitike, Gakpo. Now, before your heads all fall off, let me just get through the team and why I've picked what I've picked and remind you all, this is my prediction of what Arne Slot will do, not what I think he should do. Like, let's make that clear. I would not pick this team. Let me make that for sure for free for you. So, injury news and updates. Alisson has a minor issue, Slot said in his presser this morning, and to absolutely no surprise, it is in fact a muscle issue. His muscles are they just fall off the bone like barbecue ribs, these things, I'm telling you. So he's out, but could be back for this game or Galatasaray on Wednesday next week. So hopefully it is just a minor issue, but I feel like they'll save him, if any game, for Galatasaray. Mamardashvili can play in this one against Spurs. So I've got him in the goal. Obviously, right back is another point maybe of contention. I've gone with Frimpong. Obviously didn't start against Galatasaray. It was Gomez. I don't see a reason why Frimpong couldn't start in this one. I think we should have a lot of the ball. We should be the dominant side. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't start at right back unless he starts at right wing. We'll talk about that in a second. Chiesa is back from illness. In other news, the sky is blue and grass is green. I mean, what difference does that make at all to anybody? None, really. Even Chiesa, though, might, get some game time in this one. How Spurs have been recently. But again, we'll talk about Spurs in a second. So, yes. Rio is the next talking point, I think. Now, let's talk about him for a second. So, on the left wing, I've gone with Gakpo because I'm convinced Slot's going to pick Gakpo in this game. Absolutely convinced. He didn't pick him against Galatasaray. He came on off the bench, obviously. He didn't pick him against Wolves in the Cup as a left winger. He played him up front. I think in this one, he goes back to his favourite position out on the left. I just can't see Slot dropping Gakpo again 2 games in a row. I can't see it. I think he should, absolutely. And Slot did speak about Rio a little bit, and maybe this is a bit of an indicator for you. So I'll read you the quote. He said, "It's not that we think so far ahead for his career, but we have treated him carefully," which we all know already. "I have said that before. He cannot be too many days on the pitch because of stress fractures," which is a hard thing to say, by the way. Stress fractures. Players at this club have had that, Jadon Dans being one of them, but Rio can start for us. I said he would get more playing time, and we saw that, so he is an option to start one of the upcoming 3 games. So he says that, Rio could definitely start one of the next 3. And when you look at the next 3 games, it's definitely not going to be Galatasaray in the home leg. Definitely won't be. So it could be this one, and I hope it is this one. I really think he could have some real joy in this game. And to be honest, I just think he should be playing instead of Gakpo, like, week in, week out, to be honest. He's just better. But it is what it is. I don't want to talk too much about it and get into this debate every video, but yeah, I think we can all agree it would be nice to see him play half an hour at minimum in this game. That's what I think Slot will go with. And I guess the only other talking point then is McAllister has dropped out. We actually have a few choices of players. We haven't had this all that often, and hopefully Isak isn't too much longer. He's still in the rehab group according to Slot as well. So Like in the midfield, I've dropped McAllister in Slot's mind here. I'm just thinking he played the full game against Galatasaray. I'm pretty sure he did anyway. I can't quite remember now. I'm pretty sure he played the full 90. Um, I think Wirtz comes inside if Gakpo goes on the left. So Wirtz is definitely going to start. Gravenberch is definitely going to start for me. Szoboszlai is definitely going to start. So that just leaves it's whether McAllister plays or Gakpo. I think there's a world definitely where Wirtz is on that left wing, I think. I personally can't see him dropping Gakpo 2 times in a row, like I've just said. So for me, the formula leads me to believe McAllister will be on the bench unless Szoboszlai goes to right back, at which point I'll rip my head off. And I will rip my head off if we don't win this game, guys. I'm going to make that clear to you now. After we lost Galatasaray, and I was angry when we lost to Wolves in the Prem last time out. When we lost to Galatasaray, I was very just deflated. I just didn't really feel much at all. It's just like, this is just really a disaster. But if we lose this one, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. And we'll talk more about why in a second because of Spurs. But, I mean, yeah, I'm going to really... It's going to be head loss on the ratings. So tune in on a Sunday, either way, for either party or pure head loss ratings. And what a contrast in feeling this game has from a Liverpool point of view compared to the fixture last year, the equivalent, which was obviously the game we clinched the 20th title. We knew we were going to win it on this day. We smashed Spurs. We actually went behind, but we did smash them in the end. It was an absolute party at Anfield. Everyone was having a ball. Everybody in unison had their undies on their head. And I haven't said anything about having undies on the head in weeks. It's been so long since I've been able to celebrate a moment like that. So hopefully we get some joy this weekend. It does feel very, very different. There's no party at Liverpool right now. It's very, the morale is pretty low, I would say. Saying that though, this is a big opportunity for us. We are sat in 6th. We are level with Chelsea, who play Newcastle this weekend. So not an easy fixture, definitely not, even though both sides obviously played in the Champions League in midweek. 3 points behind both United and Villa, who play each other this weekend. So it could be a big weekend for Liverpool. We should win our game. Like, I'm saying it right now. We should win this game. We should. So you bank that 3 points and you say we collect 3 points there. You know, Villa and Villa, let me say that again. Villa and or United are going to drop points this weekend, guaranteed. So we can gain ground on them with a win. We can gain ground potentially on Chelsea. We could even gain ground on all 3 of those teams that are around us competing for those Champions League spots. It could be a huge weekend, and we need to win after the loss to Wolves last time out in the Prem, which was super disappointing and honestly feels like a million years ago. We've played 2 games since then, neither of them in the Prem, obviously. So back in action this weekend. Crucial, absolutely crucial that we get back to winning ways. Haven't seen an interview this week from a Liverpool player saying something along the lines of that we can't slip up anymore. There was one of those before Wolves, done by Cody Gakpo, yours truly. Please don't do any more of those, everybody. I did see Ekatike did one where he said he could be one of the world's best strikers, but I love Ekatike, so, you know, I'm not mad at him for doing that at all. So that's Liverpool. I think that's all I really want to get my teeth into with Liverpool in this one. I mean, like I said, I've talked about them so much recently. You guys all know the situation of us at the minute. It's must win till the end of the season, really, in the Premier League. And the Champions League, who knows what might happen. We need to cross that bridge when we come to it. So let's move on to Spurs. I've already got them on the board here. Their team is honestly pretty hard to predict, despite the fact they have so many injuries. But this is what I've gone with. And they are a mess, Spurs. So let's talk about their team. So I've gone Vicario in the goal. I've got a back 3 of Archie Gray, Danso and Jagasin. Wingbacks of Porro and Souza with Sarr and Bissouma in the middle as a midfield 2. Conor Gallagher, I'm sure, will drop in there and form a 3 when they're out of possession. But he's starting just ahead of them at the minute with Matis Tell as well. And then Solanke I've got leading the line for Spurs. Obviously, former Liverpool player, of course, scored 1 goal for us in his 1 season. So thought it was going to be a worldie, but he wasn't. So yes, that's what I've gone with for Spurs' team. I mean, let me just reel off some injured players or / suspended players here for Spurs. There's so many, it's insane. Bentancur, Bergval, Kudus, Kulusevski, Maddison, Odegaard, Davies, all completely ruled out of this one. Udogi probably ruled out as well. Van de Ven suspended after his red card against Palace in Spurs' last game out. He's suspended. Romero and Palinha obviously two big players for Spurs, especially Romero, the captain. They like had a head clash in midweek against Atletico, and I think they're both in like danger of missing the game through concussion protocol. That's why I've got neither of them starting. They might be okay and cleared, and at which point I would expect certainly Romero to start probably instead of Archie Gray, and maybe Polinia as well. That definitely could happen, but certainly Romero is a big loss. And this is where Spurs are, and it's really crazy. The injury list is insane, but there is no team in my mind in the entire of Europe's top 5 leagues, or basically in the world, you could even say that I don't think there's a team in the world that has lower morale and worse vibes than Spurs at the minute. And I don't like to say that type of thing very often, where it's speaking in superlative and also judging something that I really have no insight of knowing. But I can't imagine the dressing room is a nice, happy place right now, especially after the madness in Atletico Madrid, with the goalkeeper, with the new manager. It has just been a real spiral, a descent into madness for Spurs this season after a very weird start. Like, they sack Ange, obviously, and we've already played Spurs once, so I might have discussed this in the video previously, but my thoughts on Spurs are so weird. They sacked Ange, which I didn't think they should have done at the time. Yes, they finished 17th, but he threw out the Prem. He was trying to win that Europa League, which he did. Like, that was a huge milestone for Spurs to win that trophy, so I don't think they should have sacked him, but I did like Thomas Frank. I could understand what they were doing. Obviously, that was just a disaster of all the Arsenal things that he was doing. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. He was doing all of that, and with the cup and saying it in team talks, he seemingly lost the dressing room before it even started. Obviously, they got off to a good start to the season. They beat Burnley, I think 3-0. It was looking great. And then it was just like really inconsistent for a while, and then it was just not even inconsistent anymore. It was just bad, and it's been bad for a long, long time. And now Igor Tudor comes in to replace Thomas Frank. This is a fella that he's managed Juventus, sure, but I think we'd all be lying if we said we were all experts on Igor Tudor, and he hasn't necessarily impressed in his first 3 games. Spurs already want him sacked. This must be some sort of record. I mean, they actually want their manager to be gone. He's had 3 games in charge, and he has been a total disaster. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Look at his 3 games. They play the North London derby against Arsenal. Huge game for Spurs. Absolutely massive game. They get smashed 4-1 at home. Really bad. I think they were at home. Yes, they were at home. Then they play Palace at home again. 3-1 defeat this time to Palace, who've been struggling for form as well the back half of this season. Played off the park, really. And then they go to Atletico, which is a game they really have no business of being in whatsoever, and they get smashed 5-2. Obviously, the whole goalkeeper thing, we'll get into all this later. I've got pictures of those games that I want to show you later in the video, but it is a really wild situation. They are 1 point off relegation, Spurs, 1 out of the relegation zone, and that's 2 teams below them, Forest and West Ham, both 1 point behind, and that's currently 17th and 18th in the Premier League, Forest and West Ham respectively. Spurs sit 1 point ahead of them, so they are in serious, serious danger of going down. They have 5 straight league losses, the worst form in the league over the last 5 games, 0 points. Obviously, no team has done that. They have no win in the Premier League in 2026. We're in mid-March. They still haven't won a game. This is astoundingly bad. They are on a spiral like no other. Yet, they come to Anfield. And if Liverpool lose this game, I can't stress to you enough how mad it will make me. I honestly really, really can't. Like, I've just ragged on Spurs there for like 15 minutes. Like, the idea that I'd then have to come on ratings and talk about a team that lost to that team. Because even if we lose on Sunday, it doesn't change the fact that Spurs are absolutely cooked. I mean, they're in so much trouble and danger. And if we lose, it doesn't change that. It just means we are actually the most pathetic side ever. I mean, it really does. And if you think that the criticism of Arne Slot is bad now, imagine if we lost on Sunday. This is why this game is a huge, huge game and genuinely a must-win for Liverpool. And I've been saying that recently in quite a few games that it's must-win, especially in the Premier League. This one is as must-win as it gets. You cannot lose this game at home to Spurs the way they are at the minute. You just cannot do it. So I usually would read you some stats about a team where, XG stats, XG conceded. I'd maybe talk about how they're going to play a little bit, but It's a little bit difficult with Spurs, given that the managers just come in and they are really struggling to put performances together, and they have been for a long time. So what I thought I'd do instead, I've got quite a few pictures of Igor Tudor's 3 games in charge, and I'm going to show you that the errors, the just the basic things that have gone wrong for Spurs in those couple of games. We'll talk through those for a little bit for the second part of the preview here. So let's get into that. All right, so we're going to start with Spurs' first game with Tudor in charge, and it's the one against Arsenal. But in the second half of the game here, Spurs at this point in the game are 1-1. Things are looking okay. Obviously, they got themselves back in the game very quickly, and they're sitting in a low block. They did this against Arsenal. They've done it a lot recently, actually, and partly maybe due to injuries. Sure, they don't have that many attacking players fit, but there's so many defensive-minded players in this team, yet they cannot defend to save their lives. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Look how many players Spurs have back, but this pass from Timber is going to just come right into Gyökeres's feet. How no one cuts this pass out is beyond me. This pass just cannot happen. The midfielders, Sarr and Bissouma, just ball watching, doing absolutely nothing at all. I don't understand what the centre-backs are doing. It's just a disaster. The ball comes into Gyökeres. You see that the centre-backs have all just ran backwards. No one from the midfield managed to screen the pass away. There's way too much time. And even Gyökeres can score from here. He knocked in a good goal, to be fair to him, from this position. Next one, move it along. This is the next goal, and another the first of many individual mistakes I'm going to show you. But Dragusin, who is, I don't think he's very good at all, let me put it that way. This is an easy header for him. I mean, all he's got to do is just head this one up the pitch, let his side compete for it again, and regroup. He heads it down to try and find a midfielder like an arrow at their feet. I don't understand what he's thinking doing this at all. But Eze pounces on it, wins the duel with Bissouma. The midfield is so weak. They just get overrun all the time. Then Dragusin tries to make up for his error, diving in onto Gyökeres, who nicks the ball first, and all of a sudden Dragusin's out the game. Eze can play around him, put Saka in. Saka obviously misses, and then Eze puts it in the empty net. So just a really poor, calamitous-like defending from Spurs, and they capitulated at that point. And then there's this one, the fourth goal. Just an absolutely astounding amount of space in the middle of the pitch. 3-1 down, sure, maybe they're going for it, they're committing bodies forward. They lose the ball on the wing, the ball gets played inside. I don't understand. Here's the back three, not the worst positions in the world, but then the midfield, what is even going on? It's like a horseshoe, but wrong side of the ball, I just cannot understand. And I understand this is a transition from Arsenal, but it's just madness from Spurs, it really is. And the ball goes to Odegaard, he just moves it on to Gyökeres. The space is too big, and Archie Gray, for all that he is talented, he's not a Premier League level centre-back. We saw that last season when he had to play there a lot, and still this season, Gyökeres holds him off and goes on to score. So that was Arsenal. Let's look at Palace. Again, home game for Spurs, where they have been awful this season, actually better away. So maybe that suits them on Sunday, who knows. But no real pressure on the ball. Palace have got all the time in the world here. This one goes forward into the striker's feet, but I want to just take it back to this one. You see Spurs trying to be quite aggressive here, trying to go man-to-man. Look, Van der Ven's pushed up really high from his back three. Sarr pushing up onto Wharton. They've got Sousa pushing up. Everyone's pushing up really high, trying to be aggressive. And Palace play it to Strand Larsen, who just holds off Danso. Holds him. He's too strong for him. Holds him off. And then you see something that you don't see very often, and that's Mickey Van der Ven getting beat for pace down the wing. I mean, I don't really know what happens. They play this ball down the line. Palace, you can't quite see it because the photo cuts it off, but Van der Ven doesn't recover in time. Palace get this ball across the pitch, and this was just offside. Sarr goes through and scores, but this was just offside, and they were so lucky they get away with it. This was at 0-0. Then they actually went 1-0 up, but then disaster happened. I mean, Van der Ven gets sent off. Sure, he gets sent off. They score a penalty. It's 1-1. It's bad decision making from Van der Ven. Pulls the man down. Last man, red card. He's going to miss our game as a result now. But this, for me, I don't want to analyse a penalty. This one is so bad. And we've seen Spurs do this a lot. We saw it against City. Give the ball away in the corner and then instantly be scored on from a counter-attack really high up the pitch. And it's their own doing. This ball into the middle that is trying to be played is never on in a million years. And Sarr knows it's not on. He's saying go back to the goalie. Spurs pass back to the goalkeeper. I don't know a stat for this, but they must pass to the goalkeeper more than any other team in the world. They love passing the goalkeeper the ball, and that's partly why they have so many issues, I think, with the goalkeepers. This ball's never on. Palace have seen it already. They nip in, win the ball back. But look at the reaction from the Spurs players compared to the Palace players. Wharton gets on it. Danzo has to engage here for me. He has to come and engage Wharton. He can't just, he's doing nothing here, just standing. Palhinha doesn't get across. Strand Larsen makes a good run. Bissouma's doing nothing to put Wharton off his pass. He just slips it through, and then the goalkeeper. I mean, I'm no goalkeeper, and I'm certainly no goalkeeper coach, but I don't think this is very good goalkeeping to have your legs as wide open as the sea when Moses was trying to walk through it. I mean, this is not good, and you've got to come off your line and close the angle down. You've got to try and smother this shot. Strand Larsen just hits it straight through Vicario's legs and scores. Shocking goalkeeping. It really, really was. Maybe that contributed to him getting dropped in Madrid. But then more from this game. Palace play the ball. Just look how easy this is. I mean, Spurs have 10 men now. Sure, so cut them maybe a bit of slack. But so deep. No pressure on the ball. No rush to engage. Just quite happy to let Palace have it. The ball just comes forward, a straight pass into Wharton, who was excellent in this game, by the way. When he's on form like this, he's a joy to watch. Takes the ball, way too much time, no challenge from any defenders, all just watching, no one anywhere near him. He just takes a touch, flicks the ball over the top. It's a perfect pass. Palhinha's too slow to play centre back. Sarr beats him for pace, gets onto the end of it. Where's the goalkeeper? Again, this has to be his ball. He has to come out and claim his ball, take everything with him, make sure that he's the one on the ball. Not intimidating at all. He's on his knees already for some reason. He's got his arms out. It's just not conventional goalkeeping in my eyes. So Sarr pokes it in. And then we'll move on to Atletico, which is a game that's, it's caused a lot of debate this week, and it's all around Kinski in the goal. Obviously, Vicario was dropped. Kinski comes in. If you're a Liverpool fan, he played against us in the Cup last season, I think it was, when he was signed for Spurs, and he had dodgy kicking in that game. He got away with it and nothing ever happened, and people were saying, wow, he looks so confident with his feet, blah blah blah. And that was the problem. He looked a bit too confident for me. I was thinking it last year, and if you watch those games, you'll remember he almost kicked it to us 3 or 4 times in those cup games, I remember, but he got away with it. And this, it's a real shame. It really is, but you can't be doing this. It's unlucky, to be fair. He goes to kick this ball long. He slips over, it goes straight to Lookman, who moves it on to Alvarez, and then he moves it on to Llorente. And if you're a Liverpool fan, again, all about Llorente scoring goals against us. He knocks this one in the net, and that was 1-0. It's a huge error, another error that I've shown you. How many games have I shown here? 3. How many errors have we seen already from just individuals? That bodes well for Liverpool, because we create all of our chances from individual errors. So hopefully they make some in our game as well. And then this one... It's laughable, really. Van der Ven just has an easy clearance. The ball's not back to him by Sarr. All he has to do is knock this one up the pitch, or head it away, or take a touch. He can do anything. But no, he also slips over. What were they doing here on this pitch? The footwear. I mean, did they not warm up? I don't know. He slips over. It's unfortunate. When he looks out, your look really is out. Griezmann goes through, and he is brilliant. He doesn't miss that. Slots it away for 2-0. But then this is what I'm talking about, where Spurs have too many... They love to pass the ball to the goalkeeper. This is the last bit I'll show. This is the last mistake Kinski made before he was subbed off, and will likely head into the abyss forever. I hope that's not the case for him as a person, but I've seen Loris Karius have a disaster on a much grander scale and never really recover as a footballer. So Spurs have the ball on the halfway line here, and in 2 passes they're going to have this ball back to the goalkeeper. It's such negative football. It's been a problem since Ange was there. He's going to go back to Van der Ven. He's going to go straight back to Kinski. Good pressing from Atletico. Llorente and Alvarez, both excellent pressers. They put him under pressure, but not loads of pressure. He can kick this ball long if he wants. He could take a big touch with his right foot out here, give himself a bit more time, kick the ball up the pitch. But he's obviously feeling a little bit unconfident after his first mistake. He tries to do the right thing maybe and sweep the ball on. A little bit risky, but sweep it on, past the press with his left foot, which is weaker side. He gets it all wrong. And then this picture, I think, really just sums up everything you need to know about Spurs at the minute. Goalkeeper, face down on the floor. Alvarez about to tap it into an empty net. It's a real disaster for Spurs at the minute. And final picture I'll show you is this cross. They don't score from this Atletico, but how this can this marking can happen is astounding to me. Javi Gallan's going to cross the ball in. Griezmann completely misses the ball. He should have scored. Air shots it. He's free. No one's picking him up. All these Spurs players just all ball watching. In fact, every single Spurs player is ball watching. There isn't a single Spurs player here looking at an Atletico player. They're all just free. It's bananas. It's completely berserk. Llorente is the one who ends up on it after Griezmann's miss, and he puts it wide. Somehow they didn't concede here, and they lost 5-2 in this game. They were smashed. It probably flattered them in the end, 5-2 in this one. 4-0 after 20 minutes. I'll say it again. Liverpool have to win this game. Let's go do Super 6 to finish off the preview. Okay, so Super 6 this week then. I'm going to do a little bit of something different. After having no luck for like 30 odd weeks, I've decided to take the decisions out of my hands, okay? And I've actually asked our good old friend ChatGPT to give me the scores I should pick for these games, and it's also given me a little reason. So we're going to follow it blind. Whether I agree or not, it's not important, guys. We're trying to win money here. So, okay, Burnley-Bournemouth, ChatGPT says 1-1. I don't hate that. It says, reason, both teams often cancel each other out. Nice and simple from ChatGPT. Just not messing around there. Let's see what people think. If it loads, there we go. Oh, there you go. Cara agrees with ChatGPT as well. And then Sunderland against Brighton. Well, ChatGPT reckons Sunderland are going to lose this one 2-1. The reason being, Brighton usually create more chances, even away. So, can't argue with that. Don't know if it's true or not, but I can't argue with it. Chelsea v Newcastle. Now, ChatGPT has a 2-2 draw going on here. Reason being, both attacking teams, goals likely. And I, again, can't argue with that reasoning at all. Carragher thinks 3-1. Admin thinks 2-0. I think most people think Chelsea will win this one. Newcastle might rest players more than Chelsea, given they are still very much in the tie with Barcelona. Chelsea probably a little bit more out of it. They're going to need a huge performance at Stamford Bridge, 3 goals down against PSG. Arsenal v Everton, this one. Sorry to any blue noses that are watching, if there are any. That'd be pretty crazy if you were. But Arsenal 2-0. And ChatGPT says Arsenal are strong at home and Everton struggle for goals. So 2-0 there, agreeing with the admin. United v Villa. Controversially, ChatGPT reckons 2-1 to Aston Villa. I would not have said that for sure. But it says Villa are dangerous on the counter. Nothing about United. Didn't even take them into account at all. I don't think this will be a very popular scoreline. Villa have been really on a slide in the Prem. But maybe it's time for them to get a win. And then the big one, Liverpool v Spurs. 96% of people think Liverpool will win. That's crazy. And ChatGPT reckons it's going to be 3-2 in this one, which is a little bit closer than what I maybe would like. But it says, usually a chaotic, high-scoring game. And it's not wrong. It usually is. We definitely could concede 2 goals, even to Spurs. Hopefully that's not the case. That's what I'm going with. So, if I win the money, ChatGPT did it for me. Not very likely looking, but that's all part of the fun, isn't it, guys? All right, everyone, that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you did enjoy it. And if you did enjoy the preview today, please do leave it a like. We're trying to get to 35 likes on every single video. And we're also chasing 500 subscribers. So if you do want to click subscribe, if you are new around here and you haven't done so already, help me get to that 500 subscriber mark. That would be amazing. Thank you so much if you do that. Podcast listeners, 5-star rating and reviews. Share the show. Do all that good stuff. Tell a friend to watch The Golden Sky, you know. I'm here pretty much every day at this point. So I'll be back for the ratings on Sunday evening, of course, following the Spurs game. Hope to God they're party ratings and not head loss ratings. I'll see you then, everyone. Have a good weekend. I'll speak to you all on Sunday. Goodbye.